We are covering all of Bravo Universe today, from Southern Charm to 3 Real Housewife franchises, including Beverly Hills, Salt Lake City, and Orange County. What's up, everybody? I'm your host, Blakely McHugh, and welcome back to another Shared News Update. Of course, before we get into the Bravo headlines of the day, make sure that subscribe button and ring that bell so you never miss any of our entertainment updates. I've got my Bravo pop culture queen, Morgan, right with me. Salt Lake City premiered last night. I mean, how excited are you to have this franchise back on our TV screens?
I'm excited. And, I didn't catch the excitement until I actually watched the episode last night. And I think just because, I'm going to be honest, I gave Dubai a real try. I really did. I watched the first 4 episodes and it just never really caught on to me. And I think that just goes to show how special it is when a new Housewives franchise becomes, a constant in your life. And Salt Lake City for me took no time to catch on. So I'm excited that they're back. And I mean, the first episode was pretty dramatic. So I'm ready for it.
I mean, there is so much to talk about when it comes to Salt Lake City. I mean, the whole Jen Shaw of it all, Meredith, Lisa drama. We got Heather and Whitney now. I mean, they are bringing it. They're making for some great reality television. We're going to get into them. But first, I want to start off. We always like to, if there's something that's maybe a little sad or less light, if you will, kind of get those out of the way. Catherine Dennis on Southern Charm. I know that you're a little bit caught up on kind of what's going on, even though we don't really know what's going on, but there's some disturbing photos that are circling of her on the internet right now. A lot of people have been noticing that Catherine really hasn't been in the season of Southern Charm that much. She's missed out on 2 cast trips. One of those trips, her co-star Shep said that she couldn't go because she had the kids, but Catherine actually confirmed to Fit News, another outlet, that really wasn't the case. She was cut out of shooting for some time, and people are sort of believing that maybe it has something to do with these photos that are circling the internet. They show Catherine with a black eye and a swollen face. They're pretty disturbing. I do know that the outlet that had released it, at least they said that they got permission from Catherine to show those photos. We obviously have no idea what's going on and don't want to speculate as to what's going on, but have you noticed that Catherine really hasn't been a part of the season so far?
Yeah, I mean, she really was only in the first couple of episodes, and it really revolved around her relationship with Caleb. I feel like it's kind of been left up in the air, and Southern Charm has been a bit odd for me this season. And while I love the show, I'm just so confused about the casting, because you have someone like Pringle, who was in the first episode and then never to be seen again.
Yep.
And he's not a full-time cast member. You have Madison, who's technically a friend of, who was very predominant in the earlier episodes. And then you have Leva, who's technically a full-time cast member, but she wants nothing to do with the rest of the cast. She's not going on any of the trips. She's not doing anything. So the whole thing is just very confusing to me. I really have no idea. Macy's a full-time cast member?
Is she a full-time? She's not a friend of?
Yes. No, she is pictured as a full-time cast member. And it's like, none of it makes any sense. So when it comes to the casting standpoint of it all, But then on the other hand, it's like you see this interview that Catherine did. And of course, like you said, you don't want to assume anything because it can lead to a serious road. But I saw a lot of people saying online that it looks like it's from a cosmetic procedure. My question is, why would Catherine have a cosmetic procedure in the middle of shooting a Southern Charm season? They only film for a couple months out of the year. She said that she wanted to film. This comes after a long COVID break. So I just really don't know what to think of it all. We did get the trailer for the reunion and she is there. So maybe we'll get some type of answer. I'm hoping that it's not, the worst. But yes, very, very confused in general with Southern Charm and their casting decisions.
And even with, say it was a cosmetic procedure too, then why wouldn't she be forthcoming about it? Because she has been forthcoming about the other procedures. I mean, what is it? At the last reunion, Andy commented about Madison looking good, and Madison was like, "Yeah, I went to Catherine's, got a person and got a mommy makeover, whatever." So it's a little like it's interesting. And then it's weird on all parts too, because Catherine is saying, she's allowing the photos, but then she can't talk about it. But then, you don't want to lead down this speculation road. So it's all very confusing. I am hoping that we know Catherine's at the reunion. So maybe something will be mentioned as to what those photos were or the reasoning behind her. I mean, the two really could have zero connection whatsoever. I know she's also had some issues with the producers, right? And with the production company or whatever it is. She's had some behind the scenes issues with them too. So it very well could not be related at all to the photos that are circulating. So I have no idea. But obviously we are hoping for the best, and maybe it was just a cosmetic procedure. Okay, let's move on, because obviously I feel like the last few headlines we've done, Morgan, have been all Beverly Hills, because there's just too much going on with Beverly Hills. But I want to talk about, we're taking it down to just one story today. Teddi Mellencamp commenting on really what kind of went down in Aspen. And she said that Kathy's meltdown was not about a conga line, which is obviously what Sutton said, that she believed it was because nobody wanted to do the conga line with Kathy. I don't know that any of us really believed that. I don't know that we see like Kathy kicking her leg out at the club. But Teddi said that it was the DJ who set her off, not her co-stars. Apparently Kathy wanted the DJ to play Billie Jean. The DJ said no. And she also shed some light on, really how bad the situation was. She said the fact that Sutton even mentioned that there was an outburst means it was a big deal. And then Teddi has started throwing some shade, calling out Crystal for pretending not to see what happened in the club. And she revealed that Crystal was actually the one who called the Sprinter van for Rinna and Kathy. So she had to have known what was going on if Crystal is the one that's calling the Sprinter van, right?
Yeah, I'm just confused. Was Teddi there? Do we know if Teddi was there?
I don't believe Teddi was there. From what I was reading from that interview, it's what she's been relayed.
Okay, then Teddi, if you weren't there and you didn't see it with your own two eyes, I'm going to put it very bluntly. Shut up. Like what makes you think that you can just go out here and act like you know every single thing that went down in that club that night? The thing about Crystal is what makes me the most mad, because I know what interview you're talking about. And I believe Teddi says something along the lines of, Crystal doesn't want to not get the Kathy Hilton Christmas party invite.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, Teddi, you're not getting it either. So like if Crystal wants to get invited to Kathy Hilton's Christmas party, let her, but don't act like you are God in the situation and saw the whole thing.
Are you not a Teddi fan, Morgan?
It's okay. Honestly, I know a lot of people don't like Teddi. I was never one of the Teddi haters. I really wasn't. I thought that people were a little too harsh on her. Was she my favorite housewife of all time? Of course not. But I just don't like that she's sticking her nose in places that it doesn't need to be there.
To play devil's advocate, she's like best friends with Kyle. She's really good friends with Dorit and Erica and Lisa. Like she's kind of, without being there, she's kind of in it. So don't you think that she would have like some insider insight?
It's hearsay. I mean, would that stand in a court of law? No. Like, so
okay.
It just annoys me when she's like, this is the fact of the matter. And it's like, there's two sides to every story. There's, you know, person A, person B, and then the truth. So for Teddi to be like on a high horse, explaining everything that went down when she wasn't even there, it really just rubs me the wrong way. And it's like, girl, never mind. We're just going to end it there.
Okay. What's your theory? Is it conga line or is it DJ?
DJ. I remember when the story first broke.
It was all about the DJ first.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Sutton threw us a curveball with this conga line.
DJ when we've had one too many to drink and they won't play our song because they're like, no, this is my profession. This is what I'm doing. And we're like, come on, just play Billie Jean. And we've all had the moment. Now, we've never had a Sprinter van meltdown, but I've been pissed off at the DJ before.
Yes, we can all relate to being pissed off at the DJ For sure. Okay, let's put that one to rest. Let's move on to another person sticking their nose into somewhere maybe they don't belong. Whoopi Goldberg commenting on Meredith Marks and Jen Shah's friendship. So, Meredith recently did an interview that she said, Jen needs all the friends she can get right now, all the support she can get. That's why, she's sticking by Jen. But on air, Whoopi and the girls are talking about the whole situation with Jen Shah and what Meredith recently said. And Whoopi said she's not forgiving and, quote, maybe the old folks that she defrauded need support around them as well. Which, Whoopi, you're not wrong by any means. I don't know. I really need this season to play out because I am struggling with the Meredith Jen Shah friendship. Like, where did this come from? Meredith has been so strong.
It's so weird, especially when, the primary point of conflict in season 2 was between Meredith and Jen. So for them to have like this kumbaya moment and they're now best friends and we didn't even get to see the reconciliation, I think is really, really strange. And especially when it comes to the whole situation with Meredith last season, she was like, you come for my family, you come for me.
With Brooks.
Okay. Well, you're also, holding Lisa Barlow over the coals right now for essentially doing the same thing. So it's like, if you can extend that grace to somebody like Jen Shah, who is going to be going to jail. I mean, we don't know for how long, but we do know that she took a plea deal. You can't forgive your friend Lisa Barlow of 10 years for, seeing red in a moment and saying some things that she regretted.
Yeah. By the way, too, the other thing that, first off, Jen and Meredith has had so much rockiness, right? We have the Brooks of it all with Jen opening her legs and then what, Jen was or wasn't tweeting. Then we've got Meredith saying Jen's friend stole from her business. She wasn't, saying that Jen did it, but, she's alluding to maybe Jen hangs out around some sketchy people. Then we've got her, talking crap all season long about Jen and how she's part of this business or not business, but, this defrauding and the potential and how, I feel like she was saying, I don't want to be connected with somebody who's even like, there's a possibility that they were involved in this. And now she pleads guilty. She says she does this. And Meredith says, let me embrace you and be my friend. It just makes no sense.
Yeah. I honestly don't know what to make of it unless it's strictly for this, unless they want to create some online chatter. They want to create some talkable moments. That's literally the only thing that makes sense to me.
Morgan, could you be friends with someone that broke the law like Jen? Would you be sticking by their side or leaving them in the dust?
It's tough. It's tough. I'll tell you why. Because, I grew up in a Christian household, so I like to extend grace and, not to be judgmental. But on the other side of the coin, you have to be careful who you surround yourself with. The saying is you are who you hang out with. So if you hold yourself to a higher standard, then you can't be running around with people who are scamming the elderly. So I think that if it were me, I would be there, as a shoulder to cry on, but I would be telling Jen Shah, look, you pled guilty. You need to do your time. Do your time. Do what you got to do in there. When you come out, if you're better for it, we can start over.
Yeah. I think it would also have to be dependent on years of friendship. If you're a new friend, then that's your identity to me. Yeah. If you are an old friend and I know you to the core, and I mean, maybe I wouldn't if you were doing that, I had no idea. But, I think that there's so many other factors.
There's a lot of layers to that onion.
A lot of layers. Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about Real Housewives of Orange County because they are filming right now. And could the Tres Amigas be coming back together? Because there's a photo or photos of Shannon Bedore, Vicki Gunvalson, and Tamra Judge getting lunch together, and the cameras were rolling. I don't know what to say about it because Vicki did not give us anything during the Real Housewives Ex-Wives Club. They brought Tamra back, but they did not bring Vicki back. What are your thoughts on Vicki, A, and B, do you want the Tres Amigas back together?
Oh my gosh. What are my thoughts on Vicki? Vicki is not my favorite housewife of all time, but I think that Vicki makes great television. You
Okay.
can't deny it. You have these polarizing characters, and Vicki
Mm-hmm.
is definitely one of them. Is she going to be on my Mount Rushmore? No, I just tend to go for a different personality type.
Sure.
But I will say that when the time came that Tamara and Vicki were let go, I was of the camp where I was not sad about it, right? But
Okay.
in the first season, I found myself really missing Tamara specifically. I was like, I should not have been, a part of that camp because I really miss Tamara. I feel like, Shannon, this is going to be shady, but I feel like Shannon brings, I'll say it another way. Shannon brings more to the show with Tamara and Vicki. When it's just
Okay.
her, I don't think it really connects. So,
Sure.
do I think that we need the Trace Amigas? I do. I honestly do think so because also with Heather coming back, we all had such high
Mm-hmm.
expectations. Oh my gosh, Fancy Pants is back. I was so excited. And
Yeah.
Orange County was actually one of the franchises that I stopped watching halfway through the season. And that almost
Wow.
never
Okay.
happens.
Yeah.
So we need something because right now it's not keeping me invested.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Vicky is not my favorite housewife. I haven't loved her for her Brooks of it all, and she is very frustrating to me. But I do
Yeah.
think that, like I like Heather Dubrow, but Heather Dubrow needs somebody who's not afraid of her to ruffle her feathers. I feel like everybody
Mhm.
that's on the show right now, the reason why we didn't maybe get as much as an impact from Heather is because nobody wanted to challenge her. Everybody actually wanted to be her friend. She's got this money, this amazing
Mhm.
life, this, beautiful everything, this beautiful home. So everybody wanted to be friends with her. So we didn't have anybody really like rile feathers. And I also think that the Real Housewife franchises do so much better when there is that like deep rooted relationships. These women go
Mhm.
back so far that things are always coming up that maybe something wasn't resolved or a drama. Or they just know each other so well that it creates just an incredible dynamic on screen. I think
Mhm.
maybe Vicki would be a great friend of, and we'll see how she
Mhm.
does because I also think Tamra is she's kind of she carries Vicky. I think she's carried a
Mhm.
lot of people. So I wonder if we'll have that, we won't miss that fieriness of the Trace Amigas if we have Tamra back on the show and Shannon.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
So I guess we'll just have to wait and
Wait and
see
see.
what happens. We've got Taylor Armstrong. I think they're definitely switching things up for OC though. So it'll be, even though you stopped, are you halfway through the last season? Will you give it another go?
Yeah, of course. Of course. I couldn't deal with Noella. I didn't
Ugh,
really connect with Dr. Jen.
yeah,
It wasn't doing it for me. And look, we as entertainment reporters, there is so much. And it's like
so
if you can
much.
ever let something go, you let it go. And so last season for me, that was the Real Housewives of Orange County.
Let it go, let it go.
You
I feel
have
like
to. You have to every time.
you have to. All right, well, that is it for our Bravo headlines this week. Let us know what your thoughts are. Are you missing seeing Catherine on Southern Charm? Do you dislike the cast? What the heck is going on there? Do we want to see the Trace Amigas back together? How'd you feel about Salt Lake City? We talked about so much, so we want to know what your thoughts are. So drop those down in the comment section below. Of course, before you do that, you know the drill. You need to give this video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and ring that bell because you never want to miss any of our Bravo headlines. Morgan and I are always breaking it down. Plus, we have so many other videos and entertainment updates that you don't want to miss. I'm your host, Blakely McHugh, with Morgan Wright. You can see our social media handles on the screen. Drop by, give us a follow, and say hello, and we will see you next time, my friends.